Did you know Samsung started out selling dried fish and noodles? It's hard to believe, right? Today, we see their logo on everything from our smartphones and TVs to our refrigerators. But this global giant came from the humblest of beginnings. How did a small grocery trading company in Korea become one of the most powerful tech conglomerates in the world? It's a story of ambition, crisis, and relentless innovation. From black and white TVs to the latest foldable phones, Samsung's journey is a masterclass in how to adapt and conquer. Stick around as we dive deep into the incredible history of Samsung, from a single truck of noodles to a tech empire that shapes our daily lives. You won't believe some of the twists and turns this company took to get to the top. Our story begins not in a shiny tech lab, but in 1938 in the city of Daegu, Korea. A young entrepreneur named Lee Byung-chul started a small trading company with just 30,000 won, which was less than $25 at the time. He called it Samsung, which means 3 stars in Korean. The name represented his vision for the company to become powerful and everlasting, like stars in the sky. But his business wasn't in electronics. He was exporting dried Korean fish, vegetables, and fruit to Manchuria and Beijing. His small business grew steadily, and by 1947, he had moved his head office to Seoul. But just a few years later, the Korean War broke out, forcing him to leave everything behind and start over. This was the first major crisis for Samsung, but it wouldn't be the last. After the war, Lee Byung-chul didn't just rebuild. He expanded. He moved to Bisan and started a sugar refinery, a business that became incredibly successful. He then ventured into textiles, building the largest woolen mill in Korea. This strategy of diversification became a hallmark of Samsung. Lee believed that to survive and grow, the company needed to be involved in many different industries. He wanted to help rebuild his country's economy after the devastating war. So, throughout the 1950s and 60s, Samsung entered insurance, securities, and retail. It was building the foundations of a chaebol, a type of large, family-owned business conglomerate in South Korea. The electronic giant we know today was still nowhere in sight, but the ambition to dominate was already there. The big turning point came in 1969. This was the year Samsung officially entered the electronics industry with the establishment of Samsung Sanyo Electronics. Their very first product? A black and white television. The timing was perfect. South Korea was rapidly industrializing, and there was a growing domestic demand for home appliances. Samsung quickly expanded its lineup to include refrigerators, washing machines, and microwaves. By the late 1970s, the company was mass-producing color TVs and had started exporting them. This was a huge milestone. They were no longer just a domestic company. They were taking their first steps onto the global stage. It was during this period that Samsung laid the groundwork for its future in technology, acquiring a semiconductor company in 1974. A move that would prove to be one of the most important decisions in its entire history. The 1980s were a decade of massive growth and global expansion for Samsung. Having established a foothold in home electronics, they set their sights on the burgeoning world of telecommunications and semiconductors. By 1983, they began producing DRAM chips, the memory that powers our computers. This was a massive gamble. The investment was huge, and they were competing against established Japanese and American companies. Many experts thought they would fail, but Samsung persisted. By 1992, they became the world's largest producer of DRAM memory chips, a title they still hold today. At the same time, they were diving into the mobile phone market. Their first car phone, the SC1000, was released in 1985. It was bulky and didn't sell well, but it was a start. Samsung was planting the seeds for its future mobile dominance. In 1987, Samsung faced its second major crisis. The founding chairman, Lee Byung-chul, passed away. His son, Lee Kun-hee, took over as the new chairman. The company was successful, but Lee Kun-hee felt it was becoming complacent. He saw a future where quality, not just quantity, would determine the winner. This led to his famous New Management Declaration in 1993. During a meeting in Frankfurt, he famously told his executives, "Change everything except your wife and kids." This wasn't just a slogan. It was a revolution. He demanded a shift in focus towards producing world-class, high-quality products. In a legendary incident, he ordered a bonfire of 150,000 low-quality phones in front of the factory workers to drive the point home. This brutal but effective strategy worked. Samsung's brand image began to transform from a maker of cheap electronics to a premium, innovative brand. The late 90s and early 2000s saw Samsung's change everything philosophy pay off in a big way. They began focusing on design and digital technology. They started producing the world's first digital TV in 1998, followed by the watch phone and an MP3 phone. They were at the forefront of the digital revolution. Then came the era of the smartphone. While Apple launched the iPhone in 2007 and changed the game, Samsung responded quickly and strategically. In 2010, they launched the Samsung Galaxy S. This was the phone that put Samsung on the map as a true competitor to Apple. It ran on Google's Android operating system, offering an alternative to Apple's closed ecosystem. The Galaxy S series was a massive hit, and the rivalry between Samsung and Apple would go on to define the smartphone market for the next decade. The 2010s were defined by this epic battle. Each year, Samsung's Galaxy and Apple's iPhone went head-to-head, pushing the boundaries of mobile technology. Samsung differentiated itself with larger screens, which led to the creation of the phablet category with its Galaxy Note series and the innovative S Pen. They also offered a wider range of phones at different price points, allowing them to capture a massive global market share. By 2012, Samsung had overtaken Nokia to become the world's largest mobile phone manufacturer. It wasn't just about phones, though. They continued to dominate the TV market with their QLED technology and solidified their leadership in memory chips and display panels, supplying components to many of their competitors, including Apple. They had become the ultimate tech powerhouse. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Samsung has faced its share of modern crises. The most notable was the Galaxy Note 7 disaster in 2016, where battery defects caused some devices to catch fire, leading to a massive global recall. It was a huge blow to their reputation and finances. However, the way they handled it, with a transparent investigation and a swift recall, helped them regain consumer trust. They've also faced legal challenges and leadership scandals. Yet, through it all, Samsung has demonstrated incredible resilience. They bounced back with the successful Galaxy S8 and continued to innovate. This brings us to their latest chapter, foldable phones. With the Galaxy Fold and Flip series, Samsung is once again trying to redefine the future of mobile devices, proving that even after 80 years, the spirit of innovation that started with dried fish and noodles is still alive and well. So, from a small grocery store to a global tech empire, Samsung's history is a remarkable testament to vision, resilience, and the courage to change. Lee Byung-chul's dream of creating an everlasting company has been realized in a way he probably never could have imagined. Today, Samsung is not just a company. It's a part of our culture and daily life. They build the cities we live in, the ships that transport our goods, and the devices that connect us to the world. Their story shows that with bold ambition and a relentless pursuit of quality, even the most humble beginnings can lead to world-changing success. What do you think is the most impressive part of Samsung's journey? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the companies that shape our world.